Good evening. It's Monday night and it is mental mind treatments. So, what I wanted to share first of all with you was from my little guidebooks here, was the card that I got tonight for us all. What do you really want? And that's often how things go. What is it that we really want? Do we know what we want? Do we think we know what we want? And what I loved was this other side, because they always have two sides to these cards. God wants you to love yourself. And that's so important. And sometimes we don't realize what loving ourselves really is, how it is and how it works and what it is we're wanting to do. But loving yourself is important, and to find out what exactly that is and how that works. So tonight will be interesting. We had a great Monday night last week, so I'm looking for the same. Oops, I got an itchy on the side of my nose. I wonder what that means. I know that has a meaning somewhere out there, but anyway. Okay, well, I'm going to take off what I have written down already, for some people have contacted me. I want to say Marion, which you are going to be first anyway. She says, good evening, Norma, and blessings to all. Remember, Marion uses a singing bowl, brass one, to help me maintain the energy through this. And so what we have for Marion is basically what I've written down here is manage. I thought I could speak well today. Manifesting her wish list. And the numbers that I picked for her actually was 20, 16, and 3. So what we've got here is acceptance. Just things happening which can be disappointing. And 3 is love. Empress. Now, let's have a look at this before we go into the mental mind treatment. Part is the knowingness, the accepting that what is going to happen, what is going to occur is going to be exactly as it occurs. And sometimes we have disappointment. Sometimes things don't always hit the mark. Sometimes we set our goal. And there's a lot of thoughts out there that if you think it, it'll be. That isn't always true, unfortunately. So we have to deal sometimes with disappointment. But at the same time, what I found, if we trust that higher power, whatever you call it, something will also occur. And that's where the love comes in. Understanding that it all is working, all moving in the effects of where you're heading and where you're going and what you're doing. So let's move into treatment on this. So as we move into treatment, I know there is one power in one essence, and I know this power in essence works with Marion, is with her, and speaks to her, and she understands that, but also know that she is open to have manifested her wish list. Her wish list is the things, it's like we may call her goal list, but it's her wish list. And we know that by accepting that things can appear and show up in miraculous ways, that no matter what it looks like or what it appears, is that to know the love is always there. The love of yourself, the love and the excellent for being is always, always there. And so I give thanks, and Marion, trusting, accepting, knowing that the manifestation of her wish list is on its way, And we don't specifically say how it's going to manifest, but it will. And so I give thanks in the knowing of this by saying, and so it is, and so it is. And as I go down a little bit over here, Jason says, hi, Norma. Hi, back. CC99 says hi. Okay. Karen Lee says, hi, Norma. Happy Monday. And I also have her on my list. So we shall go to that one, those two that she has given me. Gosh, I got an itchy nose. I wonder what that means. Okay. Now I'm going to do one for Karen Lee's mother first, which is about letting go. And I got 1, 3, and 7, or she gave me 1, 3, and 7 for that, All things are possible by being with the love and turning your back on what has been. When it comes time to let go, and I talked a little bit about this last couple of weeks, I think, is that very often what we need to do is recognize that we are letting go of this time to go to that time, and that everything is possible, that people come for you. And it's about being relaxed and knowing that you're loved. So the love force comes first. The love force comes and allows you to be in that loving, what shall we say, arms, awareness, a sense of purpose. And so you feel it and you can let go. In transition of anything, no matter whether it's in your physicality and job changing or whatever, it's the letting go that is the issue. We get frightened, we hang on. And when we hang on, everything tightens up. So as I give my mental mind treatment for Margaret, I know that there is a delight in coming to the terms of letting go, of allowing oneself to be taken into new horizons, new awarenesses, new sense of being. It's funny, at this moment I'm reading, and I'm going to read this because something I wrote. I radiate universal love. I radiate universal love. And so it's like for Margaret, is that a sense of that universal love, which is the three, comes in so it can radiate through her. And in the radiation of that, life begins to open up and she can make her transition with ease and grace and joy. And so all things are absolutely wonderful. I give thanks in knowing that Margaret is ready to let go. I give thanks in knowing all her fears dissipate as she radiates within herself the universal love and can transition with ease and with grace. And we just absolutely honor that movement, that transition and beingness, and by saying, and so it is. Amen. So now I'll speak for Karen Lee. 17, 12, and 13. Lots of growth here. As Karen Lee's been looking after her mother, she finds emotionally, mentally tired and needs to be, and I've got being strengthened and reinforced. And that's what the 17, 12, and 13 does. Again, 17, the balancing of the energy. 12, accepting what is the reality, the effect, the movement. And 13, again, is another transition number. 7 and 13 are both huge transition numbers. Then you would have 19, the sun, also being fitting in that. So here we have tremendous transitions. Now, as I move into treatment for Karen Lee, I feel a sense with the mentally tired. It's like I want to switch it off. I want to switch the mental off. Like, don't hassle it. Don't think about it. It's like what I call being. Just be yourself. Be aware. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's acknowledge those things that you're feeling and let them go so that you're strengthened and reinforced, but through acceptance that this is a complicated, difficult time. Just letting it breathe in and be aware and feeling it so that the tiredness, the emotional and mentally tiredness is acknowledged straight out. I'm feeling mentally tired. I'm emotionally tired. If you can name what exactly it is, then it makes it easier. But what it does is that it is the acceptance that lets it go. It's the acceptance that gives the strength, and it gives the acceptance that you move into. Now, it does not show with that 13 that the journey is actually over, but I think this is why it's important that you learn how to deal with the emotional and mental tiredness and strengthen yourself of realizing it is not forever. It really isn't. Very often when we're in the middle of all that is that you just feel like there's nothing else. And I'll give you an affirmation I also have written down here is I feel the universal love. I feel it, know it, that it's strengthening, it's deepening, it's getting you to where you need to go, because you know that eventually the transition of your mom will happen. You know that then you'll have to recuperate. Yes. So let's begin the recuperation by accepting the emotional and mental tiredness, by accepting it and feeling strength from the universal love to just move through this period of time by acceptance of this is what it's all about. I give thanks in knowing that there is love, there is understanding, there is patience, there's an awareness, and mostly everything is strengthening and reinforcing you to be stronger and aware. And for that knowingness, I give thanks and knowledge and beingness. I'm going to come back to another one I have in a moment, but I'm just going to go up here to Jason. A mental mind treatment for Korea. I'm just going to write that on my little book here. Well, I have big writing when I do these. So career is what we're looking at. 16, 2, and 7. Well, something hasn't worked really right with 16 sitting there, because they're always like outside coming in, and it's like you have some decisions to make. And a lot of it is letting go what you know and moving into the unknown. Okay, let's have a look at what the treatment says, because when I look at the numbers, it's really about letting go. The whole thing is about letting go and deciding that you're going to let go, deciding you're moving into a different new awareness. So let's see. And excuse me, I'm going to have a drink of water before we treat this. I know there is one power in one essence, and I know that with Jason, there is this power in essence. I feel the strengthening of the understanding of how the power works. I know that as Jason moves forward and lets go of all the disappointments, hurts, pains that have happened within the Kriya, that he knows that he's sitting on a pivotal point of which decision is he going to make here? What's he going to do? How's he going to go with it? And so the decision factor is important, but know one thing, that in this decision, you're stepping into new territory. You're stepping out. You're going, whether it's a new type of work or business or whatever in your career, it'll be different from what you've done before. But it feels exciting to me. It feels like it's a whole new field opening up. And I feel incredibly, incredibly open to the whole element of everything there is. This movement forward, this decision. So it's like if you're being offered a position, you're going, what am I doing? Why would I take that? Recognize the universe is presenting you with a possibility. And the possibility, I'm going to say, of greatness is definitely change, and that you embrace it. You'd be surprised how much you'll learn and how much you will grow from this. I give thanks and knowing that in opening up everything, by being willing to let go the old and recognize this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to move forward into newness and growth and progress. We say, I release this thought, knowing that it is done with great gratitude by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, I'm just going to go back to my booklet I've got here, and that's one for Kayla. She emailed me earlier. I picked 3 numbers. Don't think she sent them. I think I picked them. 17, 7, and 3. 17 is balance, which we often get. 7 is moving into a different direction. And 3 is expressing love. As I know Kayla personally and have for many, many years, I know that she is the most loving person, and she's tired right now. She did a whole big workshop on the weekend, and she loved it, but then it leaves you weak, because as you get older, as I am and as she is, our energy levels have to be maintained a little bit more than they used to be 10 years earlier, 10 years ago. So when we think of Kayla here, as I move into mental mind treatment, I know the power is there, and I know the power is there and ready to fill her up with that loving strength, that her energy is strengthened with love on every level, so that she is the tiredness and the sort of just everything that's going on similar to what Karen Lee had, actually, very similar, I feel, is that there is a vitalization that happens here by looking at the energy and how it works, by recognizing you're stepping into a new awareness of growth and progress, and allowing the lovingness just to fortify you, and that being enough, that being enough. When you put a lot of energy out, and even though you love the results and you love it all, you then refill. It's like when you're watering the plants. I've got plants this weekend. When my son was up, we went out because I needed to carry them all, filled some of my garden, and they need water. But if I overwater them, what happens? They die, right? If I don't water them enough, they die. And we are just the same as plants. We've got to make sure that we take enough love in to fortify us, to strengthen us, to give us energy, but we can't be overwatering. In other words, we can't be giving out to the people all the time. It's a lesson that I had to learn from many people, so that you can feel and be at one in the present and allow things to move forward. And that's what I feel here with Kayla. She's on the cusp, can we say, of a new awareness, of a new growth and a new progress, knowing when to say no and pull back and fortify, and when to say yes and go forward. And I am just so thrilled with this. And I'm so happy with this because I give thanks. I give thanks because that universal love is within. And when you feel it, it can revitalize every element of you in every which way. And so it is wonderful and brilliant. Thank you. Okay, I think I've just got to go back up here a little bit on my numbers. Oh gosh, what's happened here? I've got CC 137. I guess that's 137. Okay, it doesn't say what about, but okay. CC. Well, basically, what this says is everything is possible for you, through utilizing the love force, which I just talked about, and letting go of the past. I want to talk about letting go of the past. Anything that happened up to yesterday is your past. And sometimes we humans go back in our minds to things that happened a long time ago. We replay scenarios. We feel guilty. We feel regret. We feel hesitation. Like, why did I do that? Like, in other words, self beating up. When we do those things, what happens is it holds us in that space of not being sufficient or not being enough. And so that's why when we see number one that says everything is possible, but that's in the moment, doing and dealing with what you've got, so that you can use this universal love. You can use this element that's within you to propel you into the new. Now, the new, let's talk about that. We may have goals, we may have ideas of what we would like, and then we run into the fear again. We feel fearful, maybe, we don't know if this is going to work. There's many times I started things I didn't know if they were going to work. Some didn't, but many did. And consequently, you move on, you grow, you learn, you understand where your own abilities lie or don't lie. I give thanks in knowing for CD that she is ready to embrace the universal love, let go of the past, move forward into the new, so as everything is possible. So it's all there for her, but it takes steps. It doesn't come in your door and crash you on the head and say, hey, I'm here. It takes you to go out and begin to work with that and know that and look at that and understand that. And I give thanks by knowing that as I release this thought by saying, and so it is. Marion says, thank you, Norma, which is thankful. Thank you. I'm always thankful. Juliet says, hi, Norma, glad to be here. What kind of energy am I manifesting in the last couple of months? And we've got 1, 3, 17. As I know a little bit about what Julie has been going through. One things I like about this, 1 is the magician, all things are possible. 3 is the empress, love. 17, very similar to what others get at times, where it says it's about balancing what you know in relation to your life, like keeping track. So When we learn, especially tarot students, when you begin to understand the laws and the lessons that govern us from that perspective, which basically says love is everywhere, but also everything is possible for you. So, goal setting, what you're wanting to do, what you're wanting, but then how do you balance? 17 is about balance. It's about what you know and how much of that do you put out. If you put everything out, if you get all upset about one thing or another, and all the energy and everything flows out, what ends up happening, you deplete. You deplete yourself, you deplete the belief of you, you deplete all of where everything goes and where everything is. I want to treat this in the sense that you are ready to embrace the newness and understand how to balance what you know with what you have. So it's like holding on to what you have, which holds you in place. So anyway, let's see how this works. I know there is one power in one essence, and I know Julie is connected to that. I also know that Julie understands a great many things. So I speak my word for Julie right now in knowing that everything is possible. Through the understanding of how the law of love works, there becomes a sense of purpose and awareness and a gentleness, a sense of being. And as that beingness comes out into the world around, it's about understanding where are you putting your energy? Are you putting your energy into something that is effective and will work for you? Or are you putting your energy into something that is not effective and will not work for you? It's like, what is the results you are wanting? I feel here you've got the core, but it's like, what are my results? I know what I want, but sometimes the timeline in universal time is not the same as ours. Sometimes it takes longer, and we have to have patience. We have to have understanding. But it's the trust of believing on the inner side that all things will work the way that they want to work. Knowing that you have balance, you have knowledge, you have awareness, use it and allow the universe to guide you, support you, love you, and care about you. So, but the key for me here is balance, balance of your energy. Don't waste it, but make it be effective. I'm writing it being effective here, needing the word effective. So it's like take a look at the word, what effective actually means, how to be effective with your energy, with your delight to what it is you're wanting to create. You are a creator, you've done that, and now it's time to be effective. So I give thanks and knowing for Julie that she is there, that all things are really well, and all essence of doing. Now, Karen says, I've missed her. Yes, there you are, way back there. Sorry, I apologize that. Glad you caught it. I think my machine moved a bit. So her numbers are 20, 18, and 1. Would love a treatment for support for the next step on her journey. Yes, it's an interesting time in this world, I tell you, on your path. Also, I put you in the healing circle today. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've got a little complication with my left arm that's cropped up, so that is taking a little bit more time in relation to where I'm heading. What have I got here, Karen? What have I written down? I wrote that back to front. Okay, let's change that. It's always good to reread. I've written 21.8 and I wrote in 28.1. It's a whole different story. Mm. So let's take a look at 20 is always to me is about total acceptance of what is. 1 it says everything is possible, and 8 is being connected so that you have strength and power and essence of the life. So what is your step? Your next step. Taking a little breath because I've got several images coming into my mind. So let us start this way. When we look at 21.8, it says that you have an understanding of how the universe works, how the love of the universe works. and that everything is possible for you. I feel there needs some action here. It's almost like I kind of wanted to give you a push on the back and say, get going here, because you have the knowledge, the awareness, the strength to work within your life. But the way I always look at how I draw eights. I find them that very effective. And and it's like you've got all this spiritual awareness and knowledge, but now we need to bring it into practicality. Now it's got to be utilized. It's got to be in through your hands, basically. Got to make it the way that you want it to be. So, what's your next step? Practicality. Deal with what is in front of you. Deal what is physical. Deal what is there. So you can apply the knowledge to the physicality. That's very important. So it's to be aware. You are aware. I'm not disputing that you're not aware. You are. But it's like everything is possible, but you've got to apply it to the material world. So what's your next step? Make your decision of where you want to go and what you want to do. Be clear about what it is that you want to do, and move in that direction. And yet you're going to find it's all going to fit. So I give thanks in that knowledge. I give thanks in the knowingness as I release this thought, knowing that it all is as it needs to be. Okay, Karen Lee says, thank you, Norma. You always help me so much. And I appreciate the comment. Thank you. Julie has praying hands. Kayla says, finally here. Well, you can re-listen there. Jason E., thank you, Norma. Kayla says, beautiful. Feeling the loving vibration evoked this weekend on Bowen, and am in only that as I sleep and renew myself. So grateful for the reminder. Karen says, Norma, I have missed, I did miss yours, yes. And then thanks, so true. Okay, it looks like we're coming to an end, and it's like kind of a short one. So I'm going to just do a general one off the top of my head for myself. I don't know how this is going to end up, what it's going to look like, but we're going to see what it says. Okay, I'm going to pick 20, 12, and 17 off the top of my head. 20 is 20 is acceptance of the power. 12 is acceptance of the situation. So you got 2 acceptance, and 17 is about balancing. I was doing really, really well. And then all of a sudden I had a slight it was a complication that came up, and we thought we had that handled. And now I've had another complication that's very similar to the first one, but it hurts more. So I'm in quite a bit of pain at times. So this is about acceptance, that this is, and I have no idea where I'm going. I sort of say, like, what is this all about? It says accept what is, and balance and know. And I'm going to put what I had written down here earlier. I radiate universal love. I am healthy on all levels. And I feel the universal love. I don't know when I wrote those, but I had them attached to my table here. And the key here is, for me, is acceptance of what's in the physical, which is number 12. Acceptance of what is. And know that you have the power to balance this. And sometimes balance means that you got to wait. 17 is the 8. And sometimes you just have to wait for the balance to come. The balance is more into the spiritual for 17. 8 is more in putting out what you put out from above into the world. So it's like, yes, I need to balance that. So let me go do a treatment for myself, if you don't mind. So support me with your energy, please. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know I'm connected to that loving force, even though sometimes I forget it. I know that I can open up and allow the loving force to come on in, and I accept that. And I accept that power that gets balanced out. And then sometimes I just have to take time to allow the energy to, I'm going to say, recalibrate. It's like being recalibrated, making things fit. They recalibrate engines, don't they? Yes. And so there's engineering things, I think. They recalibrate. I remember that word. And so it's like being able to recalibrate the effectiveness of where I'm at. But the major key here is acceptance of the path, acceptance of the journey that you're on right now. May not be the most pleasant, but it will come to an end as it recalibrates. That's the word I need for this. As it recalibrates what is happening and what's going. So the need for me, as I look at this, is to recalibrate myself as to what is really happening at a cellular level. That there's a cellular level that's happening on my left side, my left arm, which has been the problem from the beginning. So it's coming in and calibrating, and I need to accept it and not get mad and upset and really upset about it. So it's like allowing it to just recalibrate so that I can move forward. Oh man, there's almost a prediction coming through here. So I can be in the place where I need to be for the next step of my journey of where I'm going, not leaving, but doing, but being able to take the message, the knowingness to where I want it to go and how I want it to look and how I want it to be. I give thanks in the knowing in this, and I give thanks for you guys out there for giving me the strength and the energy to, do instead of just doing my little ones, having lots of energy to support me and looking at where it is and where it's going through. Now, did I do Jason back here? Sorry, I'm just checking. Yeah, Korea, I did that. I didn't know where I was on this anymore. Okay, there we go. Anything new? No, I think that's good. Sending good energy and blessings. Thank you for your work. And I truly want to thank not only the ones that listen now with me live, because I appreciate you, because without you being live, this would not occur. Number one. Number two, I want to thank those that watch during the week and the comments. I am behind in answering my comments. I understand that. And so I'm committing myself, actually today, I committed myself that tomorrow I would sit down and do some of the work I had to do. And so I am incredibly thankful for each one of you. I'm thankful for the new subscribers. I'm just thankful for people are watching and listening, and they like a lot of what I say. I have to admit, I have not been a follower of what everybody else said. I have looked at energy. I have worked it. I have come to my own conclusion of things, and people who studied with me got the information that I had, and some have gone on and utilized that. But basically, we're not sort of mainstream. I did mention about chakras, and if all goes well tomorrow, I'm going to draw out my expanded chakra system, and I will talk about it on Wednesday. So if you're interested in my expanded chakras information, watch Wednesdays. Even if it's not live, watch it later, because this is what I found, and I'll explain it as I go. And I found it works perfectly when I work with my transformation clients and we straighten out all the chakra lines. They always come much more effective. I wish you well. I give thanks for you all. I send you many, I keep saying this, I radiate universal love. Radiate the universal love out. Do what you can. Smile. Smile speaks 1,000 words. I love you all. Thank you. Big breath for me as I let go and say night now. Bye.